The second sentence is that these domains are traditional, banking, and youth development. But I'll tell you the last one. Our chair has been the former MD of Stanbic Bank. He is a traditional leader, a chief, in fact a chief of Kishore in the northern region, in Dabang, in the northern region. And he is a chief when it comes to youth development and social protection. The last one is that since he's the chief of the Dagomba community, he's also the super chief of the MOSQUE community. Our chair is Alhaji Sheikh Dr. Chief, and then فليتفضل مشكورا التكبير. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And thank you very much for your kind words, Prof. I stand here as Prof has indicated on behalf of His Eminence, the National Chief Imam, the National Muslim Conference, and indeed all the Muslims of this country as we try to create what we call the National Muslim Conference to address the issues of how the Muslim community can continue to participate in policy making and the good governance of this country. Our religion, first and foremost, testifies to faith, the oneness of Allah, and the Quran and all the teachings are replete with the faith. The next is our religion is embodied in values that have global expression in every community. And our faith is built on core. Our faith is built on community. I like to say that probably in this country we put a lot on faith, which is important. But the values and the community aspect really is what we are trying to develop under the auspices of the conference and all of these efforts. So once again, I like to apologize for the late start of this program and to say that it all comes back to how we organize ourselves in the various sects in our communities and our view of how important it is for Muslims to be part of the fabric of this country, playing a role, embedding the values of Islam in how the country is governed and how, for that matter, how policy is shaped. I would honestly like to acknowledge our brothers in the Ahmadi community who you can see are very properly organized and represented here. And I would like to honestly ask our other brothers to so recognize and organize themselves so when we have events like this, we'll have the order and we'll have, the forethought and indeed the clearest vision of what we are here for. We should not just come here as individuals without a clear plan, a clear vision. I'm very certain that the parliamentary caucus, who are very well represented here, who were the foundation on which the National Muslim Conference is organized, are very clear in the objectives that we want to achieve. But we cannot do this without carrying our communities along. And we express what is in the community, but would like to see the grassroots organization come up to support it. On this note, I want to accept the chair and to humbly request everyone to cooperate so that we can have a very productive and fruitful program. Thank you very much. Alaikum wa rahmatullah. Oh, Chief, Moshi, won't you clap for him?
Thank you. Attabe. Your Highness, we are very grateful. Diversity. I have the simple honor to introduce to you Hajia, one of us, for the introduction of the dignitaries. Let's give her a round of applause.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the National Muslim Conference of Ghana, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our esteemed Imam, Sheikh Umar Ibrahim Imam, the National Imam of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. I would like to introduce you to our diplomat, Ambassador Ali Gomshi, Embassy of the Islamic Republic of Iran, and then the High Commission of Malaysia, Said Nazir Idid, Senegal Ambassador Mr. Ibrahim Said, Deputy Mayor of Mission Senegal, person of Mr. Ahmadu Dramani, Mr. Salim Kalbi, Managing Director of Japan Motors. We have with us Madam Emily Fettig, who is from the Embassy of the United States of America. We have in our midst Mr. Ahmed Rami Mumaza, he's from Algeria Embassy. We have Chief Al-Hassan Andani. We have again Firdaus Center who are from Medina. We have the Islamic Center for Women Orientation. They are also from Mamobi. We have in our midst Al-Haji Abdul Wahab Isa, who is the Deputy Amir of Muslim Mission. We have with us Honorable Elvis Efriye Ankra.
I consider it a great honor and privilege to stand before you today at this pivotal conference, where the Ghanaian Muslim community's engagement in policy making takes a center stage. I extend to you all fraternal greetings from the entire membership of the Muslim Caucus of Ghana. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we give thanks and praises to Almighty Allah for making this day a reality. The day all Muslims in Ghana should celebrate for responding to the call of Almighty Allah that we should be united and not be divided. We thank Allah for waking us up from our slumber and giving the realization that we will continue to live in the agenda of others. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is normal and natural to have different views about the message of the Quran. However, it would be suicidal if we fail to become united on matters of mutual interest. The theme of this conference, Muslim community engagement in policy making, the role of the National Muslim Conference of Ghana, underscores the importance of inclusive governance. It highlights the need for the Muslim community to contribute to national development through active participation in policy-making processes. As leaders and representatives in Parliament, we acknowledge our responsibility to promote peace and coexistence, tolerance, and understanding among all other Ghanaians. We also recognize the Muslim community's contribution to Ghana's socio-economic development and commit to creating an enabling environment for our continuous growth and prosperity. As we engage ourselves in this conference, we want to request that you avert your minds to the following areas of concern. 1. Capacity building. Let us enhance the skills and knowledge of Muslim leaders and youth so that they can effectively participate in policy-making processes. If you do not have the capacity, you do not have what it takes, you wouldn't be able to make sense when it comes to participating in decision-making processes. And so it's important that we are able to build the capacities of the youth and also our ulamas so that they are able to play this role and play it effectively. 2, it is also important to look at the issue of dialogue and collaboration. This will bring about partnership between the Muslim community, government agencies, and civil society organizations to address pressing issues affecting the Muslim community in Ghana. 3 is policy advocacy. As Muslims, it is incumbent on us to participate in the areas of economic empowerment, education, and healthcare for the Muslim community, just as we did during the 2024 elections, where we proposed to the Muslim manifesto to political parties. And you and I know the huge achievement that we chalked when we took that initiative. That is just the beginning. It is for us to continue to build on this initiative. The 4th one is representation. Yes, we do admit that in terms of representation in decision making, both in Parliament and in Cabinet, there may be some improvement, but we still have to work together to ensure that the numbers increase. And so, as we engage ourselves this afternoon, let us also bring this to bear in our discussion. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the National Muslim Conference of Ghana has a very important role to play. And at this moment, it is important to re-echo these roles that you were set out to do. 1, to do coordination within and among Muslim organizations. There is a need for us to unite Muslims, all Muslim groups, as it is being done now, as well as bring Muslim organizations together to speak with one voice on very key issues. It will not work out well if one Muslim group is speaking on an issue with a different voice and another group is speaking on that same issue with another different voice. This is the time for us to come together, and so that when we are speaking with one voice. That makes us stronger, and that will create the needed recognition for us. Let us also ensure that when we are participating in decision making, we do that based on research. And so the responsibility of this conference is also to engage in research and policy analysis so that we would have been speaking from an informed position. And lastly, it is incumbent on us to also engage with government. We shouldn't fold our arms and say that because the manifesto has captured all our needs, we leave it there. It is incumbent on us to ensure that we engage all those who matter. And that is why I am particularly happy that we have invited not only Muslims, but other very important stakeholders, especially coming from government, for this engagement. The National Chief Imam, the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as we gather here today, we are reminded of the importance of our collective effort in shaping Ghana's future. The Muslim community has a rich history in governance and a vibrant culture that have enriched our nation. We must continue to work together to address the challenges facing our community and our nation as a whole. We acknowledge the government's efforts in promoting national cohesion and development. We assure your government, our unwavering support in this endeavor. To our esteemed National Chief Imam and gallant National Imams who are here, we thank you for accepting the proposal of the Muslim caucus to establish the National Muslim Conference some 5 years ago. You would have realized that your decision to accept the proposal has yielded huge benefits not only to Muslims but to the nation as a whole. Let us continue to work together to build a Ghana that is just, equitable, and prosperous for all citizens irrespective of their religious inclination. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, I wish to reiterate and reaffirm the commitment of the Muslim caucus to promoting Muslim community engagement in policy making. We therefore call on all stakeholders to join hands with us in creating a more inclusive and equitable society. Together, we can build a brighter future for all Ghanaians. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
MashaAllah. Please let's put our hands together for him. He is from Parliament, and we need to give him that parliamentary honor. After that, we follow it with At-Tandaros At-Takbir. At-Takbir. We do not joke with our leadership. We cherish them, we love them. And therefore, anytime at all we are with them, we do everything possible within our capacity to recognize them. And for that reason, I have the single honor to reintroduce to you very important personalities constituting the leadership of the National Muslim Conference and other dignitaries who are here. Without any particular order, we have our Miss Sheikh Al-Hajj Umar Imam, National Imam of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. At-Takbir. Today, unfortunately, he's wearing two caps, one for himself, one for his elder brother. His name is the National Chief Imam. We also have, and I know he will speak English today, inshallah. Allahu Akbar. We also have among us a Sheikh Abu Bakr Kamaluddin, my own father, who is the Imam and part of Shia Muslim community. At-Takbir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Marzouk. Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Mr. Chairman, the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, the representative of the Jubilee House, the chairman of the Muslim Caucus of Parliament, Sheikh Umar Ibrahim, the representative of the National Chief Imam, the Imam of the Shia community, the Imam of the Tijaniya community, the chairman of the Ghana Muslim Mission, members of the diplomatic corps, members of the governing body of the National Muslim Conference of Ghana, members of the management board of the National Muslim Conference of Ghana, distinguished regional delegates, invited guests, the media, ladies and gentlemen. I deem it a great privilege and honor to be entrusted with the huge responsibility to serve as the General Secretary of the National Muslim Conference of Ghana. Especially so because I know in my mind the people who have handed this responsibility to me are capable than myself, and yet they've chosen me to handle this on their behalf. Many people may not know exactly what the National Muslim Conference is all about. This is a body that was established on the 1st of August 2021. When the 5 main Muslim groups in Ghana came together to sign a deed at this very ground, the National Mosque, to establish this institution that has come to be known as the National Muslim Conference of Ghana, with the intention of unifying the Muslim community and to provide an institutional framework to serve as the platform for deliberations on matters of national policies and programs being developed by government, as well as review bills that are before Parliament to ensure that the interests of the Ghanaian Muslim community is catered for. The vision of the National Muslim Conference, therefore, is to be recognized nationally and globally as the legitimate and credible organization representing the aspirations of all Muslims in Ghana. And our mission is to provide a common platform for Ghanaian Muslims to deliberate and participate in the formulation, legislation, and execution of national policies affecting the lives of Ghanaian Muslims and provide institutional mechanism for self-governance. The National Muslim Conference is therefore non-partisan. I want to repeat that particular aspect. The National Muslim Conference is non-partisan. It's not established to serve the interests of any political party in Ghana. It is established to represent the interests of Ghanaian Muslims. So if you find the chairman of the Muslim caucus being the chairman of the management board, a member of the governing body of the National Muslim Conference, it is not because he is a member of Parliament for Bali representing the NDC in Parliament. It is because he is a member and chairman of the Muslim caucus of Parliament. The Muslim caucus of Parliament is not a political party. It is an interest group, an association recognized by the standing orders of Parliament, established to protect the interests of Ghanaian Muslims in the legislative process. We have strategically decided that any government that is in power the chairman of the Muslim caucus should come from that particular party, because the intention of the caucus is to lobby Muslim members of parliament, because definitely they cannot have the majority that is needed to push every agenda they want to push. But they can lobby their colleagues to ensure that various parts of bills or a whole or a bill that is of no interest to the Muslim community will not go through, or the one that may favor Muslims is pushed through, or they introduce an amendment to ensure that Muslims benefit from the laws that will be passed. And you cannot send an opposition member of parliament to go and negotiate with the party or government in power. You can only send a known and a friendly person to do that. That is why you see that when the MPP was in power, it was Honorable Farouk Umar, the MP for Yendi, who was the chairman of the Muslim caucus and represented the Muslim caucus on the National Muslim Conference. Because it is important to bring these things out clearly because of the things we are hearing. You will see that from 2021 to 2024, all the conferences we organized, the representation came from the party that was in power. The leadership came from there. But there was one representative on the management board, acting as a deputy chairman, Honorable Yusuf Jaja, who was representing the minority side on the management board of the National Muslim Conference. This is not meant to be a permanent feature of the National Muslim Conference. But because the Muslim caucus provided leadership in establishing this body, that is why it has to stay on to direct the affairs of the National Muslim Conference to the point where the Muslim community will now get used to this idea and be able to run it without the involvement of the Muslim caucus. Just as the caucus did with the establishment of the Zakat and Sadaqah Trust Fund of Ghana. Everybody knew it was started in Parliament, but today it is not run by members of Parliament or anybody in Parliament. It is run by the Muslim community under the supervision of the Muslim caucus of Parliament. I know the MC just standing by me, but it is very important to bring out this. The structure of the Muslim conference is made out of a governing body who are signatories to the deed of the National Muslim Conference here seated, with the National Chief Imam as the chairman of the body, and also the chairman of the Zakat and Sadaqah Trust Fund also as member. Here we have him seated as the chairman of this occasion, Na Al-Hassan Amdani. In the course of the year under review, the governing body met 2 times at the residence of the National Chief Imam. The body met to look at issues affecting Muslim community and deliberated on how the Muslim community was to participate in the new introduced National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving. The body also met as a body to approve a formula that was presented to it for approval by the management board on the special scholarships which were given, about 200 scholarships by President Muhammad to the Muslim community in fulfillment of one of the manifesto promises of the NDC to the Muslim community, and in this particular manifesto promise was initiated by the Muslim community itself in the Muslim manifesto, which it presented to all the major political parties. The body also visited the former vice president at his residence after the election to commiserate with him, to pray for him, and to express the gratitude of the Muslim community and Ghanaians as a whole for the speedy manner in which he accepted his defeat after the 2024 election that took away the usual anxiety and uncertainties that usually characterize the aftermath of elections in Ghana. The body together also visited the President-elect John Dramani Mahama at his residence immediately after the election to congratulate him and to pray for him for God's guidance during his tenure of office. The management board of the National Muslim Conference did not go to sleep, understanding what is now at stake. 12 out of the 14 manifesto promises that proposal that we presented to the NDC party were found in the manifesto of the NDC. And we knew and understood that the fact that these things are captured in the manifesto does not mean that they are going to necessarily come into fruition. So we follow up by visiting ministries and agencies that we believe will be affected by some of the manifesto promises made to us. So we visited the Minister of Education. That ministry has about 4 or 5 of the items that we mentioned in our manifesto. We visited the Minister for Local Government and Rural Development because there is an item affecting his ministry. We visited the Minister for Employment and Jobs because some items affected the ministry. The last one to be visited was the Minister of Health, but we could not eventually get through with our appointment. Our intention was to lobby and to impress upon the ministry to ensure that those manifesto pledges made to the Muslim community are translated into policies and budgeted for before their budget will come to Parliament. So your National Muslim Conference is not sleeping. It is working on your behalf. The body also visited the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament to pray for him and to thank him for the able manner in which he managed the hanged 8th Parliament just before he was re-elected into office as the Speaker of the 9th Parliament. Mr. Chairman, the Muslim community has some few issues we want to raise here. And we are happy that the representative of the Jubilee House is here, even as we wait for the representative of His Excellency, the President. The Muslim community, represented by the National Muslim Conference of Ghana, want all political parties, not just NDC, to know and understand that the fact that Muslims are given appointment after election does not necessarily make them representatives of Muslims in your political parties. They are just your party members you have given appointment, though we are happy that they are Muslims and we expect them that they won't do anything to the disadvantage of the Muslim community. So there are critical bodies, especially bodies that affect the lives of Ghanaian Muslims directly. such as Hajj, the scholarship, secretariat, the Get Farm Board, the Health Insurance Board. These are things that affect our life directly. We want to see representation from Muslim community and not Muslim party members. Upon your party Muslim members, but we want to have a representation that will attend meetings and come back to the governing body or management board of the National Muslim Conference to inform us what is transpiring, especially when the decisions are affecting our very lives. Let me use Hajj as an example. It is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. So it will be unheard of for the office of the National Chief Imam or the governing body of the National Muslim Conference of Ghana, which is the mouthpiece of Ghanaian Muslim, will not have a representation on such organization. Whoever is appointed just because he's a party member reports to whoever appointed him. He doesn't report to the Muslim community. We want transparency. Muslim community has now changed the way we do things. We have changed. We used not to have National Muslim Conference. We used not to have conference of regional imams. We have now understood why we have been left out. We have now understood why we have communities such as Lima, Mamobi, Tamale, and we don't have schools and infrastructures such as Western Girls and others for our people to attend. It's because we slept and did not bother ourselves about policy decision being taken at higher places. We are no more doing that. And whoever chooses to ignore the National Muslim Conference or the Conference of Regional Imams at the regional level, you are doing it at your own disadvantage as a political party. Because now we speak to ourselves. We don't want to be divided and treated as Ahlul Sunnah, Tijaniya, Shia, Ahmadiyya. We don't want to. We want to be talked to as Muslims. We want to be talked to as Muslims and want to be dealt with as Muslims, and matters affecting Muslims. Democracy demands that should be decided, or Muslims should have participation in it. For the purpose of inclusivity and for the purpose of transparency, especially when it is just clear, those who are taking some of these decisions clearly may not be fighting for the interests of the Muslim community. If the person is appointed on the basis of party, it is quite natural you will only be thinking about what will favor his party. And he's not to be blamed for that. If a Muslim member is fighting for NDC members who are Muslims, he's doing his work. But there is a body representing Ghanaian Muslims now, and that body must be taken seriously. And I'm sure the election of 2024 should send the right signals to the minds of whoever wants to play with the National Muslim Conference. The Muslim community didn't vote according to who is a Muslim or who is not Muslim. We voted according to who was going to give us more of the things that we wanted. Let me end my conversation here and wish His Excellency the President a happy birthday coming from the Muslim community in Ghana. And it was our wish that he would have cut one of his cakes here at this gathering today. So, Mr. Elvis, tell the President that he lost a prayerful opportunity. Thank you very much.
Let's give him And a very thunderous
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت وسلمت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. Now, Chairman, representative of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, the second Deputy Speaker of Parliament, leaders of various Islamic groups, ministers of state, members of parliament, members of the diplomatic corps, distinguished guests, esteemed scholars, fellow Muslims. Let me greet all of us with Islamic salutation of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. May the peace, mercy, and blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be upon all of us. Like Prof has communicated before I came up here, a series of bereavements have led to my standing here before all of us today and wearing shoes that I wear together my humble self, the shoes of His Eminence, the National Chief Imam of Ghana. Now, in the words of His Eminence, I am honored to address this gathering of the 5th Annual Conference of the National Muslim Conference of Ghana. This occasion provides an opportunity for us to reflect on our journey as a community and chart a path forward towards collective prosperity. Today, I'm the happiest person to be leading a community that rises above its ideological differences and hold on to what binds us all together. La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. Today, we have gathered under the theme, Muslim Community Engagement in Policy Making, the role of the Muslim Conference of Ghana. We are here to interact with government, to tell us how government intends to fulfill the social contract between it and the entire Muslim community in Ghana. We are here to learn more about how to track the works of the same government that we collectively put into office. We are here today to deliberate and sharpen our skills as to how to hold our country's leaders accountable for our resources that we hold in trust. As Muslims, we are an integral part of the Ghanaian society, and we must contribute to the development of our nation. We must strive to promote national unity and peaceful coexistence with our non-Muslim brothers and sisters. Islam teaches us to respect the rights of others and to be kind to all people, regardless of their faith or background. Let us work together to build bridges of understanding and cooperation with other communities. Let us be ambassadors of peace and promote social justice. We must reject all forms of extremism and violence and promote a culture of tolerance and understanding. We must also promote tolerance and understanding among different Muslim sects in Ghana. We are all Muslims, and we must work together to promote the interests of our community. Let us reject all forms of division and work towards unity and solidarity. We must partner government to ensure good governance and development of Ghana. We must engage with government and policymakers to promote the interests of our community and to contribute to national development. I call on government to extend fund infrastructural development to Muslim educational facilities. Our schools and institutions need support, and we urge government to assist us in this regard. Fellow Muslims, I urge you all to rally behind the National Muslim Conference of Ghana as the mouthpiece of the Muslim community. Let us support our leaders and work together to promote the interests of our community. We must pay attention to government's policies and legislations that are passed in Parliament. We must engage with policymakers and contribute to the development of our nation. I urge all Muslims to activate the payment of zakat into a common pool for the development of the Ummah. Let us support our neighbors with sadaqah. But let us also pay our zakat into a common pool to promote the development of our community. I call on government to institute stringent measures to curb institutional corruption and abuse of public funds. We must work together to promote good governance and accountability. To the youth in the Muslim communities, I urge you all to take advantage of new advancing technologies to advance the message of Islam and improve your lives. Let us use technology to promote education, entrepreneurship, and social development. In conclusion, I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides us on the right path and blesses our efforts to promote unity, peace, and prosperity. Let us work together to build a better future for ourselves and for our nation as a whole. May Allah bless Ghana and its people. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Let's follow it with a round of applause. His Eminence National Chief.
Mr. Chairman, and I must say that our chairman is like a father and a big brother to me. I always count on his wife, counsel, advice. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Our second Deputy Speaker of Parliament, and when we were talking, he said he preferred to be known as the controversial MP. Our distinguished imams from the various Muslim groups, our sheikhs, our ulamas, and Muslim scholars, honorable members of parliament, respected leaders of various communities, our distinguished members of the diplomatic corps, delegates of the National Muslim Conference of Ghana, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Did I get it right? When I was younger, you didn't give me a Muslim girl. You see how I'm suffering. Now that I'm retired, it is a great honor to join you this morning of His Excellency, on behalf of His Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama, the Chief of Staff and the government and people of the Republic of Ghana, for this historic National Muslim Conference. I bring you their heartfelt greetings and warmest blessings as the representative of His Excellency the President, the Minister of Interior, and MP for Aswase, who is a prominent distinguished Muslim, has joined us this morning as a special guest representing the President. So you see, distinguished senior Muslim people in the government. You have him as Minister of Interior, you have Honorable Haruna Idrisu as Minister of Education, you have the National Security Coordinator, so Muslim, and many, many more. So these are people that I believe will not do anything against the interest of the Muslim community. They will fight and pursue what is in the interest of the country and the Muslim community. Honorable Minister, you are very welcome. I've taken over your job. Allow me at the outset to acknowledge our father, His Eminence Sheikh DR.OSMAN NUHU SHARUBUTU, the embodiment of peace, the guardian of tolerance, and a divine gift to our nation. As a Christian, I always proudly say that the National Chief Imam is my father too. His life has been a stabilizing force for Ghana. His humility, wisdom, and moral authority have guided our nation through challenging moments. And today, Ghana stands tall because people like him have stood firm. Ghana's unique religious harmony, a legacy to protect. President Mahama has repeatedly emphasized that Ghana is blessed with unique religious, social, and political harmony that few countries in the world enjoy. Muslims and Christians live in the same homes. We share meals, participate in each other's celebrations. During Eid, we enjoy our salah meat and TZ. In my house, by 12 o'clock, if the salah meat and TZ hasn't come from Hajjah, the boys will start complaining, where is the salah meat? Where is the salah meat? We enjoy it together. And during Christmas, Muslim brothers and sisters celebrate with Christians. This is not common, this is not automatic, and this must never, never, never be taken for granted, because other countries don't get it that way. When we look at neighboring countries, some richer and more endowed than us, and we see how quickly instability and mistrust can destroy societies, without peace and harmony, no nation can develop. This is why one of the reasons why the President established the office of the Presidential Envoy for Interfaith and Ecumenical Relations, to consolidate protect our unity and position Ghana as a global model for peaceful coexistence. Relevance of this National Muslim Conference. This conference on Muslim community engagement in policy making and nation building is timely and profoundly important. Our Muslim community is a vital pillar in Ghana's development, and your participation in national policy making strengthens democracy, deepens inclusion, and enriches national development. Your voice matters, your guidance matters, and your contribution to peace building is indispensable. So your messages have been well taken. Religious foundations for coexistence. Permit me to reference two sacred texts that beautifully affirm our shared values. Starting with the Christian scripture, the Good Samaritan in Luke 10, 25 to 37. Jesus talked about somebody who was injured and was robbed, and the priest passed by, the Levite passed by, but the Samaritan, someone from a different community showed compassion and mercy. And Jesus asked, who was the true neighbor? The answer, the one who showed mercy. And Jesus said, go and do likewise. So in all our religion, it is about showing love. It's about showing compassion. It's about showing mercy. It's about showing humanity. That is what makes the difference. And this is Ghana. We show mercy, we show kindness, we show neighborliness across faiths. Permit me also to go into the Holy Quran. Surah Al-Hujurat 49:13. O humanity, indeed, we created you from a male and a female and made you into nations and tribes so that you may get to know one another. Surely the most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous among you. Allah is truly all-knowing, all-aware. This reminds us that diversity is divine, meant for cooperation, not conflict. Again in Surah Al-Ma'idah 5:32, it says, whoever saves one life, it is as if he has saved all humanity. This emphasizes the sanctity of life and our duty to protect one another. These teachings bind us together as brothers and sisters. Again, Surah An-Nisa 4:36 says, worship Allah and associate nothing with him, and be kind to parents, relatives, orphans, the needy, the near neighbor, and the distant neighbor. So both the Quran and the Bible commands us to love our neighbors. We come from one creator. We descend from one man, Adam and Hawa. We are one family. In fact, all the three major religions come from Abraham, Father Abraham. Christians, Jews, and Muslims, they all come from Father Abraham. So we must recognize us and work together and live together in love and harmony. Ghana as a beacon for the sub-region. The President believes firmly that Ghana must serve as a case study for the West African sub-region, showing that Muslims, Christians, and traditionalists can live together in dignity, harmony, and mutual respect. At a time when the Sahel is struggling with extremism, mistrust, and conflict, Ghana's example is needed more than ever. The world is watching us. Africa is looking to us, and we must rise to the responsibility. A call to collective action. As we deliberate at this conference, let us remember that unity is our strength, tolerance is our heritage, peace is our responsibility, and Ghana's future depends on all of us, working hand in hand. President Mahama remains committed to supporting the Muslim community, strengthening interfaith relations, and ensuring that Ghana continues to shine as a beacon of peace for Africa. Your Eminence, distinguished leaders, we thank you for your wisdom, we honor your sacrifices, and we stand in partnership with you as we build a peaceful, prosperous, and united Ghana. May Allah continue to bless our nation with harmony. May He reward the efforts of our Muslim leaders, and may He guide us to strengthen Ghana for generations to come. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. You have excellently pronounced it. Thank you so much.
As the MC said, when you look at the program, the Right Honorable Speaker should have been here personally. Unfortunately, another equally important international assignment has taken him out of Ghana. Hence, asking me to represent him to make some few remarks
on his behalf. So I'm here on behalf of the Speaker. Mr. Chairman, the Venerable Andani, the national imams of the Muslim communities, honorable ministers of state, honorable members of parliament, distinguished invited guests, the media, ladies and gentlemen. All praises are due to God, who has made it possible for us to gather here this morning to reflect and deliberate on matters of mutual importance to the growth and development of our dear country. I personally consider this 5th annual National Muslim Conference very important because the 4th conference was the biggest and the last Muslim event I attended. And that was to end my tenure of office as the Speaker of the 8th Parliament. Today, I join you once again as the Speaker of the 9th Parliament of the 9th Speaker of the Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Mr. Chairman, let me start my remarks by greeting all of you the most popular Islamic greetings, usually said in Arabic language, Assalamu alaikum. Mr. Chairman, we are witnessing today in Ghana under the National Muslim Conference of Ghana is very significant milestone in the democratic development of our dear nation, Ghana. It marks a gradual shift of religious leaders from concentrating only on the spiritual lives of followers to also showing leaders showing concern and taking interest in policies being developed by political class. I am particularly happy and proud to be associated with this positive development and progress of the National Muslim Conference of Ghana. As I know very well the support I always give to the Muslim caucus to build the conference, and I think it is yielding some fruits. Political parties are not the end and essence of democracy, but mere vehicle and means by which individuals and groups realize their dreams and aspirations. That is why it is important to have interest groups such as the National Muslim Conference to galvanize the interests and aspirations of the members. I am aware that the National Chief Imam personally presented a 14-point Muslim manifesto proposal to political parties during the 2024 general election. That, for me, was a game changer for the Muslim community. It is therefore in the right direction and appropriate that the 2025 annual Muslim Conference is under the theme Muslim Community Engagement in Policy Making, the role of the Muslim Conference of Ghana. It is indeed time for manifesto's promises to be translated into government policies for implementation and legislations. The engagement of the citizenry in modern democracy during policy formulation is not only important but also necessary for inclusion and ownership. In his book entitled The Life of Muhammad, Hekal informs us that when the Holy Prophet Muhammad escaped death threats in Mecca and migrated to Medina. With his followers, he accepted the responsibility to carry the political leadership of Medina alongside his missionary work as a prophet. The prophet established a legislative system called Shura. He also established judicial system and adjudicated on conflict among the people of Medina. These acts by the Prophet Muhammad in Medina were ample testimony of the fact that participation of Muslims in the governance process of their country is not only a civic duty, but a moral responsibility. I am therefore happy to note that the national Muslims of Ghana has risen up to this call for action made by the Muslim caucus and the leadership of Muslim community in Ghana. I wish to urge all ministers who are here, and I can see the Minister for Interior, the Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources has already spoken, being invited to this annual conference to endeavor to respond and attend upon the Muslim community in order to take the conference through the policies and programs of their ministries. I wish to end by adding my voice to the call by the Muslim community to government for the formal recognition of the National Muslim Conference of Ghana and giving all state protocols and support extended to other religious bodies to be extended to it. With these few remarks, I wish the Muslim community a fruitful celebration and a successful 5th annual conference. Assalamu alaikum. So on this note, I will have the singular honor to declare the 5th annual conference duly opened.
Okay, so let's do what Parliament wants. A round of applause. Big one. I want to tell you something His Eminence National Chief Imam has just informed me about. And I know that loudest applause will come from the woman. He says that he's very grateful to all of us for giving meaning to the concept of unity in diversity by coming here. But he particularly is grateful to the women for coming in their numbers, in fact more than the men. Let the loudest voice come from you. Chief Imam says you have he's a Damascus. Let's give another round of applause. Anyway, a Damascus appointed him the president. Thank you.
Hadaran Chairman Sama, Mr. Chairman, permit me to first start with some Hausa, then I'll come and read President's speech. And if I read his speech, I cannot add anything. Hadaran Chairman Sama, Hadaran Manyan Limamai da aka gayyace su suke nan, limaminmu na Shiha, Sheikh Kamaluddin, limaminmu na Ghana Muslim Mission, Sheikh Amin Bonsu, limaminmu na Ahlus Sunna wal Jama'a, Alhaji Hajj Umar Sheikh Umar, limaminmu na Tijaniya Movement, Sheikh Abdul Wadud Sise, da dukkan manya 'yan waye na 'yan siyasa, Second Deputy Speaker da ya zo madadin Speaker, da wana Honorable Yusuf, Chairman Muslim Caucus, da dai manyan security agencies da aka gaice su nan, farko dai iyaye maza da mata, 'yan waye maza da mata, farko dai na shaida babu abin gaskatawa da gaskiya fashe Allah. Na shaida annabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam annabin Allah ne, bawan Allah ne. Aminci Allah ya tabbata bisa gare sa da alayensa da sahabbansa da dukkan baki da muke fama da kurakunsa har tashar kiyama. Ina muku sallama ta addinin musulunci. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. An ce yanzu sai a madadin president, amma ina so nemi dama an ba ni just minti biyar yi magana kamar magana don ne magana president ban ya kara wani kuma abin da sa ne ce nake so magana a Hausa. Abin da ya kawo muka kafa farko ina ba da hakuri na zo kamar lokaci ya kure na bar gida don zo na yi ba da na kai nan kamar karfe 10 ma ya kai, amma ina hanya ina sama duk wanda ke sauraron abin da ke gudana yau da safe daga Joy FM ka understand inda ka ji farko yadda abin ya fara ka fahimci abin da sa na ce wurin domin yadda aka doko magana ake shimfida shi jikina ya zafi na da cikin lokacin ce da jaban da ya ba mu sake hanya mu je wurin muka ce kuma na yi imani fadin alhamdu duk wanda ya saurari yadda abin ya gudana kafin mu kare ya san mun bari sun fahimci zaman lafiya ya fi zama don sarki, kuma don ababa da ake yin ga wallahi don a zama lafiya ne, kuma kowa da ake ganin ga wallahi muna da inci mu yi ababa, amma muna son zaman mu tare da zaman lafiyar da ke kasan mu ya fi muna da kome, amma muna kokarin mutunta yaransu suna kokarin walakanta yaran. Wannan abin da abu da ya kamata mu duka mu duba, kuma da ikon Allah ni da Minister for Education mu yi magana irin ababa da ke gudana irin wayannan secondary school da ikon Allah lokacin barin shi haka kenan Allah ya yarda. Da Ahmadiyya Imam, sorry, the Deputy Imam, Sheikh Wahab, Abdul Wahab, sorry, I escaped you. That was an oversight. Please forgive me. Remember, Arab musu iPads, yaran da ke secondary school. Kuma mun ga musu, kuma na faɗi kan da iko Allah, Ghana Education Service, da ta bude portal. Duk abin da ke gudana school ka bi ka sa as evidence ka kai complain. Kuma ka kawo complain za mu raba batun wanga school ne in ka buga wani ne that's an assault and it will be dealt. Let me say this in English. What we are trying to do is that Ghana Education Service is mandated to create an avenue for people, students to make genuine complaints about mistreatment and molestation in school, whether they are Muslims or Christian or whatever. And we are vowing that when this is done, we will treat crime as crime. So if you assault somebody, we won't say because it's a school environment. That is an assault, and that will be dealt with as an assault. We'll deal with crime as crime and deal with issues that are not crime as not crime. But we must coexist. His Excellency Jaman Mama is very clear on his mind. He wants to build a Ghana that is inclusive, where we respect each other. I mean, wanga abin gara nake fadi, abin da yake yana da muhimmanci sosai. Shi ya haifi wanga na samu Muslim Conference. Ku gafarce ni yau da na zo na duba zaman mu. Kamar iyaye mata sun fi mu maza ma yawa. Iyaye maza da ke sauraron mu kuke gida. Wallahi kuna duba kamar abin da bari muka hassasa maka zaman kuna duba ya kare. Zan ga ku kare ba. Yanzu ma ne ya kamata mu yi kura sosai. Mu hada kanmu mu yi kokari yadda za mu yi mu ribanci wannan lokaci don mu magance wanga fitina da ke damun mu once and for all. So shi don Allah kan mu gaji da tafiyan National Muslim Conference. Wani abu ne da yake yanzu kowa ya fara ganewa akwai inda musulmai suka gama bakin su da zama daya. Mu yi kokari mu kama. Kuma ina roƙon executives National Muslim Conference don Allah ku bari mu tashi da aiki mai karfi sosai. Domin me yau shekara 5 ke ga wallahi muka kai shekara 10 ba mu in ba guri mu ba muka wasa mun fasa National Muslim Conference. Domin kowa ya ce bai da wani amfani. So shi muna yi shekara 5 mu ba kanmu nan zuwa shekara 5 matsalolin mu ga dewa ya bata muhimmanci. Kuma na yi imani da ikon Allah
ba da karfin mu ba da ikon Allah za mu kai mu ga nasara Allah ya yarda. Yanzu na koma karanta magana President. Mr. Chairman, permit me now to speak on behalf of the President. Right Honorable Speaker's Representative, Honorable Isiama, the Second Deputy Speaker, my colleague, Ministers and Deputy Ministers here, Members of Parliament, colleagues here, members of the governing body of the National Muslim Conference, Ghana, distinguished invited guests, media, ladies and gentlemen. Let me start by greeting you in the most sublime Islamic greetings of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. I always find myself drawn into sincere feeling of peace, comfort and love whenever I find myself attending upon call of Muslims and Zongo community in Ghana. It is a community where faith in Allah and belief in the destiny are cardinal principles and pivotal around which every activity of a human endeavor is resolved. I therefore once again deem it a great honor and privilege to be invited by the galaxy of Muslim leaders under the umbrella of the National Muslim Conference of Ghana to observe the opening ceremony of the 5th Muslim Conference of Ghana. I therefore wish to state without shred of doubt in my mind that Ghana is indeed a blessed nation. In spite of the economic challenges and difficulties that we have run ourselves into, our faith in Allah and our hope for a better future have kept us alive and strong. I wish to state with pride as the President of the Republic of Ghana that I believe Ghana is the only country in the world where the Ahl Sunnah, the Shia, the Ahmadi, the Ghana Muslim Mission, and the Tijaniya sit together to deliberate on matters of mutual interest without regard to the creed. Allahu Akbar. This is a milestone achieved by Ghanaian Muslims under the leadership of our venerable National Chief Imam, SHEIKH SHARUBUTU. Indeed, Muslims all over Africa and the world have something to learn from Ghanaian Muslim leaders. I therefore salute all Muslims in Ghana for this achievement. I therefore wish to assure the Muslim community that this effort by the National Imam, the Imams of the 4 main Muslim sects, and the Muslim caucus of Parliament shall be encouraged and supported by my government so as to continue to make the Ghanaian Muslim community a shining example for other countries to emulate. I made a promise on page 5 of the 2024 NDC manifesto to pursue membership of the Islamic Development Bank in order to attract development funds from the Muslim world for the benefit of Ghanaian Muslims and the nation at large. I know this will be much easier if Ghanaian Muslims are given the opportunity to have a seat at the Organization of Islamic Countries. I have been reliably informed that a country does not need to be an Islamic country in order to obtain membership. I therefore will seek the advice of the Attorney General and the Minister of Foreign Affairs to enable me grant executive recognition to the National Muslim Conference of Ghana to enable it obtain at least observer status at the annual conference of the Organization of Islamic Countries. In doing so, Ghana can benefit from the economic opportunity it presents to its members and also gets access to a better facility during Hajj. Mr. Chairman, the choice of the theme of the 5th annual conference, Muslim community engagement in policy making, the role of the National Muslim Conference is not only appropriate, but it's also timely in view of the fact that government is in the process of rolling out plans and programs to ensure that it fulfills all the manifesto promise it made to the Muslim and Zobo communities in Ghana, inshallah. We have made about 16 manifesto promises, 12 of which came from the Muslim manifesto, and the remaining came from our own community engagement. We have already fulfilled some, and in the process of rolling out many more in the coming year. Mr. Chairman, many Ghanaians are of the erroneous view that the policies of the Mahama administration are favoring Muslims. The truth of the matter is that it is the Ghanaian Muslim community that has changed the way it does politics. I still remember when the National Chief Imam led the delegation of Imams and Zongo chiefs to my campaign office at Laboni to present to me the Muslim Manifesto. The General Secretary of the National Muslim Conference, Ghana, in his opening remarks, stated categorically that the Ghanaian Muslim community was about to do something that is going to change governance and political dynamics of this country. It is in reviewing the 2024 NDC manifesto for implementation as government that I now realize the full importance of that statement. As a political party, the NDC is already known for fulfilling its social contracts by living up to its manifesto promises, and it will do same to the Muslim community, inshallah. I have been informed that the leadership of the National Muslim Conference Ghana have not rested on their house, as they have already visited ministries such as local government, education, and employment to ensure that the manifesto promise are captured in the budget of the affected ministries. I have been informed that the leadership of the National Muslim Conference have not rested on their house, as they have already visited ministries such as local government, education, and employment to ensure that the manifesto promises are captured in the budget of the affected ministries. The Muslim community has indeed affirmed the political theory and philosophy, which states that political parties are mere vehicles that carry the aspiration and interests of the people they seek to govern. I therefore once again wish to congratulate the Muslim community for being innovative. Mr. Chairman, as government, we have already fulfilled some of our promises, such as additional holiday. We have extended our support to the Islamic Education Unit. We have implemented our promise of implementing affirmative action to offer scholarship to Muslim students offering professional programs such as law, engineering, medicine, and pharmacy. We are also in the process of establishing the non-interest banking and finance to ensure financial inclusion of many Muslims who do not use the current banking system for fear of incurring the wrath of Allah. I urge the Muslim community not to throw their hands up in despair, as I will ensure that before I end my term, I shall establish a legally backed, transparent, and accountable institutional framework for the efficient and effective management of the Hajj in Ghana, inshallah. I promised during the last conference that I shall do all this in consultation with the Muslim leadership in Ghana under the umbrella of the National Muslim Conference of Ghana. I wish to assure the Muslim community that we will do everything necessary. We will do everything necessary for all Ghanaian children going to school to be able to do so without discrimination or fear of being humiliated by any school authority on the grounds of their faith. I also wish to appeal to the Muslim to cooperate with the newly appointed Hajj Board and management in order to ensure that this year's Hajj will be smooth without any rancor. I also wish to assure you that the concerns raised by the Muslim community will be considered to enable representatives of Muslim bodies such as the National Muslim Conference is represented on the board in order to ensure and deepen transparency and accountability in the management of the Hajj, inshallah. With this, I want to declare the 5th Annual Conference of National Muslim Conference of Ghana duly open. And may God bless our homeland Ghana and continue to bless our Muslim community. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Oh, let's give him another round of applause, please. Alhamdulillah, we are really thankful to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, ably represented by the Honorable Minister of Interior and Member of Parliament for Asawasi in Kumasi. I like the rhyming. Asawasi in in Kumasi, beautiful Rami. Let's give him a round of applause once again. Alhamdulillah.
A kind of shaky start, but I must say that everything has come together very well, and we are very grateful for all the Muslim leaders who've turned up. We heard from everybody, apart from the National Chief Imam, who we know is currently performing the funeral of the Secretary to the Secretariat. Indeed, we should have all been there, but because of this occasion, we heard from all of the speakers, it is quite clear. The purpose of the National Muslim Conference is to bring together the Muslim sects and to articulate a single position so that we can be properly integrated into national policy and governance. And I think it could have started from no other better place than in Parliament. And we heard the head of the Parliamentary Muslim Caucus, who is also a Deputy Minister, present a very excellent speech. We heard from our Executive Secretary, who was quite spirited in reiterating the purpose of the National Muslim Conference and clearly establishing that this is a body that it represents the interest of all of Muslims wanting to live in a peaceful and prosperous Ghana and not a political organization. It is an organization intended to canvass the opinions, the votes, and the spirit of Muslims to ensure that we become a responsible fabric of the national development and political process. I think for me, the best speech was from the head of the ecumenical envoy at the office of the president, Elvis Ankara. He was quite eloquent in cementing the relationship between Muslims and Christians and clearly establishing our common purpose and for the need for us to live in harmony and to sort of articulate all our positions so that we can have a peaceful and prosperous Ghana. Of course, we heard from our special guest, the Speaker of Parliament, ably represented by my own very good friend, the Deputy Speaker, position again the support of the High Office of the Speaker of Parliament, recognizing the National Muslim Conference and indeed stating the Speaker's own personal involvement in ensuring that this organization was formed and was indeed with us during the last Parliament. I was happy to be here again to represent the Parliamentary Caucus. And with there's no less a person than the Speaker supporting you, I'm sure you can go very far. So we thank you, Deputy Second Speaker, for coming. And of course, we heard eloquently from our own Minister for Interior, Honorable Muntaka, and I think his opening statement in Hausa was par excellence, and he spoke about a very sensitive issue that should really wake us up, and which is to say, in the next 10 years, some of the infrastructure gaps that we are suffering, which is creating a lot of angst, especially in the education of our girl child, we should address them, and he was very clear. He also touched on some of the manifesto promises that was made by His Excellency the President, and we are quite clear that the government will implement our key ask in the manifesto which was captured. So once again, Honorable Minister and representing the President, we are very, very grateful. I want to thank the MC, I want to thank the Imams on whose behalf I was chairman for sitting through this opening ceremony, and to thank the Excellencies who have come to support us. And we believe that you've heard us loud and clear, that we are non-partisan, we are non-political, we are just a social organization to ensure that, as His Excellency has indicated, and also the Ecumenical Minister, we want Ghana to become a shining example of how Muslim sects can live peacefully together, and most importantly, how Muslims can live together in a very peaceful and prosperous country. On this note, it's my honor to say thank you. Yes, I spoke about the MPs as it was represented by the leader of the Muslim caucus and of course the speaker, and I want to thank the MPs. I did say in my opening remark that whether it was the Zakat Fund or the National Muslim Conference, it all started in Parliament over the years by Muslim MPs who have been in Parliament. They just didn't come to take your votes. They went back to Parliament and ensured that they established the Zakat and Sadaqah Trust Fund, and as the Executive Secretary said, the Zakat and Sadaqah Trust Fund is now being run by a professional body and no longer directly from Parliament. We also want to believe that probably in the next 5-10 years, when the National Muslim Conference has been fully embraced, they will not be necessarily asked to directly run it. But at the moment, we will still employ members of Parliament to continue to shepherd the affairs of the National Muslim Conference so that it can get a proper national footing. Thank you very much.
Oh, let it be so resounding. Yeah. Alhamdulillah, we are very thankful to the chair. I'm particularly grateful that the chair has delivered a two-dimensional task, his and mine. He has done. We have also been honored by a powerful delegation from Ghana Immigration Service. We have DCOI Alhaji Hudu, responsible for human resource, Ghana Immigration, or the Department of Human. Let's give him a round of applause. They are doing very well. They have always been with us. Then we have ACCR Alhaji Kari, also from the Ghana Immigration. He is here with us. Then we have ACCR Alhaji Farouk Salam. He is the Deputy Chief Imam, Ghana Immigration Service. Let's give him another round of applause. MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah. Now, you know, we can't do anything without the presidency because we are engaging political establishment as part of our operation and in line with national unity in diversity. And then
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد. Oh Allah, we thank you for the life given to us. We thank you for our country Ghana. We thank you for all the resources endowed in this country. We thank you for Muslims coming together. We thank you for Muslims and Christians being together in this country. Oh Allah, continue to shower our blessing upon us. Let this unity that we have solidify the unity for us. Let us achieve progress. Let's do everything together. Increase our life. Give us long life, good deeds and prosperity and better ending. And let us end with the kalimat shahada. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Let's let this unity continue and continue forever. Don't let us disintegrate. Oh Allah, continue to give us the good in this world and the good in the hereafter. All what we lack, what we are lacking behind, there's education for students and other things. Allah help us so that through National Muslim Conference we achieve all this through a unified body. Oh Allah, we thank you. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. We thank you, Allah, for the president who attended by his representative, the Minister of Interior. We also continue to shower your blessings upon him. Continue to shower your blessings upon the cabinet ministers, those who are present, those who are not here. Oh Allah, bless all the imams around here. Let us continue to be together. Bless the representative coordinator for Zongo Affairs, and bless everybody who has come here. Let fulfill everybody's desire for him, and let us achieve the success in this way and the success in the hereafter. ربنا تقبل منا انك انت السميع العليم وتب علينا انك انت التواب الرحيم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Amen.
Please, a few announcements. Please remain seated. One, we need to have a photograph of members of the high team, so you will still be here. And
all right, thank you all.